everyone, DPX here. Got a new movie to review, Thor Love and Thunder. Anyways, what do I think? Well, let's get right into it. But before we do that, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, leave a comment, or I will electrocute you. So Thor Love and Thunder is, you know, the fourth Thor movie. This takes place after Endgame, after Thor has... Well, he was all, like, you know, kind of fat Thor, as we like to call him. The big Thorbowski. And, you know, we get to see him... Not really, actually, what I was about to say. I don't know if this is a spoiler. This is a spoiler-free review, but I'll just say this. He's really not... We don't get to see much fat Thor in this movie. Obviously, we see him as normal Thor in the trailers, but I just want to say that, just because I was about to contradict that myself. But basically, like... You know, we got Thor here. There's also Jane, and I want to talk about that for a second. You know, obviously, Jane was the love interest for Thor in the first two movies. No one really cared too much about their relationship. It was sort of always just there, if you know what I mean. And I really like how they brought her back and made her, like, a very interesting character here, you know. Like, I wasn't quite sure about this character, the love interest that no one really cared too much about, coming back and all of a sudden becoming worthy of Mjolnir. But the way it's done and how they throw in how she's dying of cancer into it, which was already revealed before this, that's not a spoiler, I thought that was, you know, a nice touch to her story. This, like, it's unique. You don't really get anything like this in any of these, like, comic book movies of, like, someone dying from cancer and thinking that this, like, power will heal them. And it might have been done before. I don't think in the movies, though. Also, I obviously want to talk about Gore the God Butcher. They brought back Christian Bale. He's returned to comic book movies after what? How long? When did The Dark Knight come out? Like the final movie 10 years ago? Like, damn, bro. But, so yeah, they brought him back. Christian Bale is back as Gore the God Butcher, and yeah, like, he nails it. He's like a standout in any scene he's in. He's creepy, he's menacing, you know. The scenes when he's in it, it honestly, like, feels like it has some horror elements to it. Like, obviously not to the extent of Doctor Strange. That was basically a horror film, but, like, you know, there's some horror elements there when Gore is there. And I really feel like, you know, when he shows up, the jokes aren't really there, you know. They take it seriously when Gore shows up. But the jokes is kind of... This is where it's splitting people, I noticed. A lot of people seem to be split on this movie, and I feel like it's the jokes. Your opinion on this movie, I think, will depend on whether or not you think the trailers... If you thought the trailers seemed a little too goofy, you're probably not going to like this movie, because it's just as goofy as the trailers. If you didn't mind the goofiness of the trailers, you'll probably love this movie. I didn't mind the goofiness of the trailers, so I really like this movie. It does have some issues, though. There are definitely moments... This is sort of an MCU problem. It's even a problem in Ragnarok, although not as, like, to the extent of as it is here. But, you know, a joke will kill, like, you know, any sort of emotion, any sort of, you know, like, serious moment. And, yeah, I never, like... I feel like that's such an easy thing that, like, all these MCU movies can, like, avoid. You know, just don't write a joke in a fucking serious moment, you know? Just don't do that. Just have some restraint. I'm not gonna pretend I know what it's like to, like, write a whole ass fucking movie. But, like, I'm sure it's easy not to write a joke in a moment that's supposed to be serious. You can say that's easier said than done, and maybe it is, but I don't think it's that hard. And, like, it's not only that it's, like, you know, it kind of ruins some serious moments. It also comes at the expense of many things, if you know what I mean. Zeus, who I was actually very excited to see, because, you know, what else is cooler than Norse mythology than Greek mythology, you know? So we get Zeus in here, and It was pretty cool to see Russell Crowe as Zeus, but he's kind of played entirely for laughs. It was funny, I laughed, but upon reflection, you know, he didn't serve another purpose. He was basically just a comic relief. See, that kind of bothered me. I was really excited to see Zeus. I knew he wasn't going to be like a huge part of this movie, you know, but I would have liked it if he was played for a little more than just laughs. Jane, I said, you know, what I liked what they did with her, but like I didn't particularly like how she got Mjolnir. You know, it didn't make any sense to me, really. She just, one scene she's like, you know, thinking about it, I guess I can say without spoiling anything, and then the next time we see her, she's fucking Thor. It's like, I didn't like that much. And yeah, I've heard many people online say that this feels like a parody of Thor, a satire of Thor. I don't quite agree, you know. The jokes might have been a little too much, but I don't quite agree. I like this movie. I've been talking about a lot of negatives. I really liked it though, you know, because I was entertained. I was way too entertained in order for me to say I didn't like this movie. You know, everyone puts in a great performance. You know, Natalie Portman, of course, like she wasn't like the best in like the first two Thor movies, but she seems to be having a lot of fun here. Chris Hemsworth, of course, is having fun, and of course Christian Bale is really great as Gore the God Butcher. And a lot of people, I don't think, like the goats too much. I fucking love the goats. I'm not joking. Also, the Guardians of the Galaxy are in this movie, as you may know. This isn't much of a spoiler, but they're barely in it. What you see in the trailers is basically what they do in the movie. That's not a bad thing. What people gotta understand is that they shot the movie and then made the trailers. The trailer might have made it seem like they were in it a little bit more, but I'm not holding that against the movie, because the movie was shot, then the trailer was made. You know what I mean? It's not the movie's fault that the trailer led you to believe that the Guardians of the Galaxy were gonna be in the movie a little more. Also, there is a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene, both pretty cool. The mid-credit scene, just letting you know, that was awesome. Overall, you get like, I feel like there is an emotional story, you know. The movie kind of starts, I wish this would have actually been explored a little more, and it was explored a little bit, but not as much as I think it should have been. But, you know, I think, they kind of touched on Thor's demons, if you know what I mean. He's still, you know, he got back and he got jacked again, but like, he's not particularly happy, if you know what I mean. Because remember, he lost basically everything, you know, his whole family, all his friends. So yeah, I think what they did with him and the arc he goes through in this movie was pretty solid. I really liked it. You know, and I really like the jokes. They're all funny, and I was thoroughly entertained. I just wish there was a little bit less of the jokes, and also some other things that didn't make sense, like how Jane became Thor. You know, there's a lot to love in Love and Thunder. Overall, you know, the movie, they tell you the movie's about love and thunder. Cut that out. The movie's about love. And, you know, I think the way that they tell you that is good. I just wish there's a little less jokes, because this is a prime example of an MCU movie that gets a little sidetracked with the jokes. Funny jokes, but it distracts the movie, I feel. I don't think that issue is, like, as bad as many people say it is. But I think this is a movie where it is an issue, like a big issue, and I can kind of see why people are feeling burnt out on MCU now. You know, I had one of my friends text me that he saw the movie. This is before I watched the movie. He said, "I just saw Thor. I'm a little burnt out on MCU now. They are putting out way too much," and yeah, they kind of are. In the end, Thor: Love and Thunder, I really enjoyed it. Does have some issues, but in the end, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Hey guys, this is Editing DPX here, and upon further, you know, reflecting on this movie about 24 hours later, I think a 7.5 out of 10 is more fitting.
I don't want to call it bad, but the more I think about it, it is too goofy. And whatever the opposite of a movie taking itself too seriously is, this movie is guilty of that, if you know what I mean. Alright, back to the video.
What do you guys think? Because I'm sure I will get many differing opinions, you know. I'm sure I will get many people saying, like, you know, they liked this movie, how they loved it. I'm gonna get people saying they hated it, you know. But I really enjoyed it. But that was because I'm able to tolerate some of the goofiness. This was a goofy movie, you know. If you're able to tolerate the goofiness, you'll really enjoy this movie. If you're not able to tolerate it, don't know if you'll really enjoy this one. But that's my review. What do you guys think? Comment below, let me know. And if you like this video, comment, subscribe, or I will electrocute you. Okay, I'm fucking serious. You better subscribe or I'm gonna do that. Bye!